Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Legacy Running Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Sarah, and today I'm so excited to be talking about the mental game, y'all. This is like more than half of the strategy that I see when it comes to really learning how to run again, maybe after hip diagnosis, after a certain age. And it is like the piece of the puzzle that honestly, like my clients time and time again are like, Sarah, like this is the thing that you have helped me the most with is just the mental game. Even honestly, like in a lot of my freebies that I post online or in my podcast or YouTube or wherever, like Instagram, all that stuff, like I love talking about the mental game because while there may be physical changes in your hip that you haven't experienced before, the mental part is and those things are uncontrollable. The mental aspect is just something that we do have control over. And you know what? We love control as human beings. I love control. It's very helpful to know the things that you have control with and know the things that are kind of outside of your locus of control. So today I'm really going to go through the 5 things that I have seen that have been working with my clients to overcome their hip pain, get back to running, and kind of deal with the mental aspect of that. And before we get into it, just for funsies, I mean, y'all are my podcast crew. Would love to share just some fun updates of things that are going on in my world. As many of you know, I dealt with a hip injury starting like 2020, 2021. And it took me probably about a year and a half to really get back to running. I was able to run a half marathon in 2020. My years always get blurred, but I was able to run a half marathon after that. And then last year, so 2024, I was able to run two 50K, so two ultra marathons. It was so fun. It was the time of my life. I literally was like, this is it. Like the 50K is my favorite mileage. Like I would love to build up to maybe a 50 miler, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have just this pipe dream of like being a like 45-year-old woman and like in plus and just like running these long distance races. I feel like it is something that ultra runners like really age well. Like you see some of the most competitive ultra runners are actually older. And I don't know, I think that'd be really cool. Maybe after having kids, I think it'd be cool to like go higher. But personally, this past fall, is that true? Yeah, this past fall, because we're going into winter, I got some like more extensive blood work done just because I wanted to. And I came back with like really low ferritin, like really low ferritin. I wasn't really feeling it, but like it was, and I was kind of trending more towards hypothyroidism. And I was like, you know what? Like, even though I have so much fitness from the ultra that I ran in December, I like ran a bunch throughout the summer, kind of stayed up with fitness. I was like, I think I really need to kind of cool it a little bit, supplement, kind of get things up. And have been doing that since really for the past couple of months now. And I'm going to start to add more volume. And I think I'm actually going to run. I'm probably not going to like intensely race. But I think I'm going to run a half marathon, like a trail half. It's local. It's a really cute, fun route here in Seattle on like the east side of Seattle, probably in December. And then there's also another one in January that I might kind of do some like speed work tune up for. So it is fun to be back. I mean, I don't know, like it's so funny. I talk about this with my clients that maybe have kind of graduated from the EmpowHER program and have gotten more into like racing and just like the more technicality performance side of running. And it's like there's always issues. Like once you have come out of your hip pain and you're back into it, like then there's something else that's going to come up. And like I don't know. I think that's maybe what kind of keeps us coming back to running, whether it's like it was a fueling thing or like a race pacing strategy or a mental strategy or whatever. Like there's always something really, really cool to be working on. And I'm excited to like continue to level up in my running. Even though I've overcome my hip pain, I've gotten back to running. Like there's so much I can work on, and I think it's so fascinating. So that's what's going on kind of in my world. If you're like Sarah, which literally, I don't even know if anyone's thinking in this. Like, this is just my internal dialogue of people being like, why isn't she racing? Like, what is she doing this year? No one's probably thinking that, but internally, I'm thinking that. And I'm here trying to get my fairy and my thyroid all in check. So that's what's going on. Excited to hopefully run that race in December, and then maybe do a little tune up for January, and then we will see what the year holds for 2026. But without further ado, let's get into the mental game. And my first tactic for overcoming hip pain and like really being able to stay present through the process, really being able to like overcome it well. Mental strategy number one is going to be ask for help. Okay. And I know I've said this on the podcast before, but I'm going to kind of take it from like a different approach. I always think that like if you ask for help, like there's this phenomenal research article done about labral tears, and it talks about the people that have the most success. There was like 7 parameters of things that they had the most success, and they had a team of people. And honestly, it was the list of people on this team was different. It could be a medical doctor, it could be a physical therapist, it could be a coach, it could be like a really supportive friend, really supportive parent, really supportive spouse. Like the people that had the most success had somebody in their corner. So that's what the research is pointing to, that they kind of have that pointed person. And honestly, the biggest thing that I see, the biggest win that I see with this is that when things go wrong, because they will, there's never a linear process. You're not going to blame the things on yourself. You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, like I did this wrong. I did too much. I sat for too long. We're going to shift the blame. Like we are so much more harsh on ourselves than we are on other people. And you're going to start to experience that when you bring someone into this world. They're going to be like, Nancy, like, why are you so hard on yourself? Like, this is a normal part of the process. Like, you recognize that, right? So really bringing someone in is going to take some of that blame off of yourself, and it's going to give you someone to turn to when you're like spiraling, because that is honestly one of our MOs as gals, even guys with hip pathologies or hip injuries, is like we start to spiral when things don't go our way. And another thing is like, if someone is there and they're kind of guiding you, they're leading you, they're doing all of these things, that's going to be the person that you're going to get to say, okay, what is normal right now? What is not normal right now? What's the next step? Okay. Every day, like now, honestly, more than freaking ever, like, I don't know what happened. Like people are just like really rampant on wanting to get rid of their hip pain. People are coming to me and they're asking me, I'm in physical therapy for my hip pain. What else do you think I should do? I'm in physical therapy and this is what I'm doing. What else do you think I should do? And I'm like, you're in physical therapy. Like, ask your physical therapist. Like, I remember being in the clinic and being like inundated with all these people that are coming in, and I'm like dealing with a bajillion different, cases and all of this stuff. And sometimes I would just get so wrapped up in like getting the work done, like getting my documentation done, getting, greeting the person, all this stuff. And I would just get in go mode and I wouldn't even tell them like what we're doing. And a huge part of my mentorship of going through my residency and fellowship was just being like, okay, telling the person, this is where we're at today. This is where we're going to be next week. Next week, let's anticipate doing this. And I get it. Like as a PT perspective, like we get lost in the sauce of all the stuff and productivity that we need to do. Like if you're the patient, it's okay to be like, Susie, my doctor of physical therapy, what are we doing? Like, where am I at? Where am I going? What are we doing right now? What am I doing at home? What's the long-term game plan? Have you worked with someone that has had this before, had success with this before? Like, ask them. Like, just be like, what is the plan? What are my expectations? Like, write this down. What is the plan for the next 6 weeks? What is the plan for the next 3 months? What should I be feeling when I'm in the sessions? What should I be feeling after the sessions? What sort of things should I be doing outside of this? If you're back to running, how much should I run? Like, these are the questions that it's okay to ask. And like, so many people, like, they come to me and they're like, on strategy calls, I get this so freaking often. Sarah, I love my physical therapist, but I just don't think that they're really helping. And I'm like, physical therapists are amazing people. Like, you might love this person. They're likely very social. They went into a career that they have to talk to people all day long. If they're an ortho physical therapist, they likely have played sports and have been very social and have been very like in team environments. And like, they're a person that you're generally probably going to like. It's okay to like the person and be like, dude, what are we doing? Like, ask them some questions. If you don't feel like you're getting your help, it's okay to be like, do you really feel like we got this? Like, do you feel like we got this? Or is there someone else here that maybe has seen more people like me and really is going to lay out that step-by-step plan? I feel like it's so valuable. Like, I mean, I went through this with my PT. Like, she really was like, okay, here's where we're at, here's where we're going. This is what you should expect, so on and so forth. We really kind of laid it out together and it made me feel a lot better. So if you need to ask those questions and get someone in your corner that is your point person that's going to help you be one, the navigator of your emotions, and two, or maybe like the kind of the mediator of your emotions. And then two, like even if from like a medical perspective, maybe they're the person that's like kind of your point person to be like, okay, where are all the places that I'm going? What are all the things that I'm doing? So on and so forth. So number one is going to be ask for help from the perspective. And if you've asked for help, like identify who's your point person and then identify like if that's the person that you've asked, what's the game plan? Like, what's the game plan? Ask that person your questions. Like if as people come to me in my DMs and they're like, what should I do outside of physical therapy? I'm like, bro, like your physical, well, I shouldn't say bro, but gal, your physical therapist knows you the best. Like I can't answer these questions because I don't know you. So that is what I think about that. So number one is going to be ask for help. Number two, this is a huge lesson that I have learned personally, probably in the past 3 to 4 months, and I'm not even gonna lie, it's changed my life. Like it has literally changed my life, and it's stop moving the needle. Okay, stop moving the needle of what your results are, of what you want to do. Okay, so I have gals that come into the EmpowHER program, and I always ask them, what is your goal over the next 3 months? We can probably anticipate that you'll double the volume that you're doing now. So if you're running 3 by 20 minutes a week, you'll probably run 3 by 40 minutes a week. Some people largely surpass that. Some people really just take that time to progress. I find that the lesser volume that they start with, the slower we progress. So if they're not running any time at all, like maybe we're going from like 3 by 0 minutes of running per week to like 3 by 20 to 30 minutes of running per week. And then they kind of progress up from there. So when people come to me, they kind of lay out this, plan, or they lay out this goal of theirs, okay? And I'm like, okay, so we're gonna steadily like encroach on this over the next 12 weeks. Anticipate that there's going to be ups and downs. Anticipate that we're going to take some down weeks. Anticipate that you're going to travel. You're going to you're going to get sick. You're not going to be able to progress some of the weeks. Like, but overall, we're going to be trending forward. Okay. So it's like if we're trying to move the needle like about 50% over that time, this is just an example, then like this week we should probably be, 15 minutes of running. The next week, maybe like 2 by 15, 1 by 20 to 25. The next week, maybe a little bit more. Okay. And so many times, and there's going to be like this up and down variable of like you feeling great and maybe you being like, oh, I'm a little bit sore because I sat at dinner for 3 hours and that's something that typically makes me sore. Or I just traveled for a really long international flight and as I came back, I got really sore and I was still able to get all my volume in this week, but like I just needed to take an extra rest day. So having that expectation of where you're supposed to be at and where you're like kind of allowed to be at is really important to know. So then when you get to that week where you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be running 3 by 15 or whatever, you're not like pissing yourself. Sorry, that's so absurd, but you're not mad at yourself because you're not running 3 by 45 minutes or because you went for an international flight and now you're irritated. Like we need to really understand where we're at in the process so we're not totally moving the needle. When I'm working with my clients in the EmpowHER program, we start with week one. We fill out this thing called the heat sheet. So it's like your hip easers, your aggravators, and your tolerance. We understand what things make you feel better, what things make you feel worse. So on there, it's like my period, international travel, sitting for 3 hours at dinner. Like these are things that are typically going to bother me. Okay, so let's pair that. And then we're in week 2 of the program. You're at 2 by 15, 3 by 15 minutes of running. And then you just sat on at dinner for 3 hours and now you're sore and you have to run the next day and you're like really irritated because you're like, well, I should be doing all of this totally pain-free. And it's like, no, like with where we're at right now, take a rest day. Or do some exercises that are going to help you feel better. And then let's put that run in 1 to 2 days. You're only running 3 days a week, so we can space it out throughout the week and understand that like where the needle is this week is 3 by 15 minutes of running. And like, let's try to just appease some of these aggravators. Like, still go to dinner and do the things that you want to do. But like, when you come back, maybe or even the next day, like, let's do some of your specific mobility stuff that helps you feel better and then go for your run at the appointed time. Okay. So stay on the plan and like stop moving the needle all over the place. This is how this has personally changed my life in the past 3 months. I recently went through a business coaching program. It was legitimately incredible. It's called Online Entrepreneur Academy. If you are an entrepreneur and you're interested in this, like reach out because it changed my life. But nonetheless, in the program, we really set like every week, it was like, okay, this is what we're doing this week. This is the goal for this week. And I would finish the goal for that week and I would just be like, well, why isn't all of this other stuff done? Why haven't I like made all of this stuff? And it's like, that's not what the needle moving piece was that week. Like, I'm like over here thinking about all these things I need to do in my business and I'm not satisfied with like the things that actually got done this week. And it's like I'm moving the needle. Or here's another one. I would be like, okay, my goal for this period is I want to work with 5 new clients this month. It's just a random, this is not true, but like I want to work with 5 new clients this month. Okay. I hit the mark and I hit 5 new clients. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I want 10. And it's like, why? Like, why did I say that that's what I wanted? And then I got there and I'm like, pooping on myself because I didn't do more than I wanted. Like, what? Like, if you have the goal, if it's 3 by 15 minutes of running and you've hit it, okay, and maybe you had to modify because we had an aggravator come up that week, but you still hit it. Like, let's be proud of ourselves. In the program, I'm literally like every week, I'm like, what wins do we have? What wins do we have? People are gonna tell me their losses. Like, people are gonna tell me, they're gonna reach out. It's just part of it, but they're not gonna be like, I sat through dinner for the first time this week. I hit all my milestones. Like, I'm forcing us to have a positivity bias because your brain has a negativity bias. Like, you're naturally just going to be more drawn to the negative things that are happening. Think about it. In the news, we're like, this person did this, or gossip, or like, this person did this. We're not out here being like, Cheryl Ann out here sold 15 pies this week, and last week she only sold 10. Like, we're not out here like sharing all of the wins. So it's something that we have to get ourselves into the habit of being like, this week, this was a huge improvement, and that is a stake in the ground, and that is a freaking win. And I'm not going to move the needle this week. Like, maybe I'm not feeling 100%, but I'm not moving that needle. So that's number 2, move the needle, set the goal, and stick to it. It's okay if you are a little bit shy of it, but just try your best, like try all the grace, try your best. And let's not move the needle when we actually hit the thing that we want to hit. So number 1, ask for help. Number 2, stop moving the freaking needle. Number 3, let's go. Let's go. Expect ups and downs. Okay. I don't know if I've ever told the story on this podcast before, but when I went through my hip journey, again, went to physical therapy, delayed all of that for a long time because I was just being stubborn. Went to PT and had the best PT, and I couldn't get into her. There was like a period of time that I was like doing pretty well. Like, I was actually doing great. Like, I was back to running 2, 3, 4 times a week. And I remember like, I started at 3 by 20 minutes a week, and I kind of just progressed up from there. And I think I was at like 3 by 40 or something like that. And one of the weeks I just bombed a 60-minute run. It was fast, and I was just freaking going for it. And I had so much hip pain. Like, I flared myself up to the nines. And I freaked out, and I just like tried to get in with my PT. She didn't have any openings. So I went to a different physical therapist. Okay. I went to a different physical therapist, and she starts like, she has all my notes right there. And like, these are my people. Like, I've literally worked with these people. They're phenomenal and I love them. Like, I would send any member of my family to them. Like, I went to them. Okay. Went to this physical therapist. She does kind of this quick assessment on me, and she starts going through all this visceral stuff, like abdominal stuff. And she's like, your liver is not moving correctly. And I was like, okay. I'm in a lot of pain right now. Like, What are we gonna do? Okay. Does some liver techniques, tells me to put this SI belt on. We divulge on a whole different plan. And I'm actually not against the liver stuff. Like, I'm actually kind of into it. Like, I think it's cool. There's like this whole visceral manipulation thing. I think it's actually pretty dope. But I was like, I'm not here for that right now. Like, I am here for the plan of care that I was working on with my PT, and we are diverging, okay? And I left that appointment even more frustrated than when I came in because I didn't have like the consoling that I needed. Like I needed my PT to be like, Sarah, this is the plan of care that we're on. You kind of did too much this week. Or let's say like if it was something that was like maybe more out of my control, like I had a funeral and like I had to sit a bunch and that was super irritating to me and like, road trip or whatever. And like her to come in and be like, Sarah, like you just your one of your aggravators was present and like this is going to get better over time, but right now like this is just what's happening, and we're going to do a couple things to help you feel better. You have like your exercises that kind of help you feel better. You have your, I call it your rescue plan, and we're going to work through this, but like this is part of it. Like and when I actually saw my physical therapist a couple times after that, she was like, Sarah, like progress is not linear. She's like, physical or running is a very high level activity, which is honestly a blessing because if you want to be a runner, you need to train your hip up far past the demands of life. So therefore, the trickle down effect is oftentimes that life feels really good when you're able to run 3 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles. Side note, but she was like, it's a very high level activity. We're working your body up to be able to withstand the demands of that high level activity, and therefore like there's just progress. You're working up to this high level thing, and there's going to be ups and downs along the way, and I need you to keep it a little bit more neutral. Okay, I need you to just like, if the right side is like I'm so ecstatic, like every time I go for the longest run of my life, like I am like crying tears of joy, and then on the other side it's like anytime I feel an ounce of pain or I have more pain, I'm like I'm on the floor. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad. Like, I mean, this was me, okay? Like it literally was me. So I'm not even making fun of you. This was me. Like I needed to rein it in a little bit more and be like, okay, I'm in a flare up right now. I know what to do and I'm going to overcome this. And if I can't overcome this, I'm going to reach out to the person that's helping me. And then on the other side, wow, this was my longest run that I've ever done. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so grateful. And the runs that I'm doing that are less than that are also helping me massively. And I'm going to be really excited that those things are helping me. And I'm going to be grateful for those things. So I'm going to bring it in a little bit, and I'm going to expect that there's going to be ups and downs. And I'm going to be really excited or I'm just going to be a little bit more neutral. I don't even need to be excited. I'm just going to be thankful that I'm in this process and that I have someone that's kind of guiding me through this. So number three is ups and downs, which honestly, I'm just going to say is really similar to number four. Number four is build your team and follow the plan. Okay. So I strayed away from my team out of a moment of panic. Like I literally was just like, oh my gosh, I need to see this person. Oh my gosh, I need to see this person. In this person meaning like I needed to get into my PT and she was busy. So I just saw somebody else. Like, I'm not saying that that was the wrong thing to do. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I think maybe the right thing to do would be like check in with my PT like virtually and just message her and be like, hey, like this is what's going on. Do you think I need to come in and see somebody else? And she could have said like, yeah, you know what? This is actually maybe sounding like something more acute. Let's get it checked out. Or maybe she would have been like, no, you know what? Like, you know what to do. Like, we've talked about this and let's kind of work through that. And then I'll see you, as soon as I can see you and get you scheduled within the next couple of weeks or within like the next couple of weeks. I think maybe that would have been like a more appropriate thing when I was working with her because it just derailed me so far to like we're talking about the like we had never talked about my liver. We had just talked about my back and my hip. Like we had gone so far to the liver. Now I'm like trying to order this SI belt and I'm like, you know what? This is so far off of what we were doing. This is not helping. And I really like it was more emotionally straining. So I really needed to stay with my team member and have her progress me. Okay, so that's number one. Another like kind of check in on this, like sometimes I'll kind of deal with this with some of my clients where it's like there's so many chefs in the kitchen. Like we're here. I'm working with them. I love, hear me when I say, like, if I'm working with a virtual coaching client, I have lots of clients that still see an in-person physical therapist, and I love that. I will collaborate till the cows go home with this person. If someone's a physical therapy client of mine and I'm referring them to one of the doctors in my area, again, like I'm on the phone with that person and they're like, this is what's going on. This is what's like, we are talking about it. Okay. Like, I love collaboration, but if I'm working with you and you're sending me like all these Instagram exercises of things that you think you should be doing because you're like kind of doing all these other things, that I mean, that's not wrong. Like, you're just trying to be proactive. Like, I totally get it. Like, that is so fair. But it's like let's trust the process a little bit here. And like, as I have had clients do that to me before where they send me all these things and like that's fine. Like, that is fine. Like, I am happy to talk about those things. I'm happy to be like, "Oh, do you not feel like you're doing enough? Do you want like a couple more things?" Like, I typically tend to lie on the side of like 3 to 5 exercises maximum from like a time perspective. But like, I definitely have people that are like, no, I'll do literally like, I want to do more. Like, I want to do more things. And I'm like, oh, if that's the case, then like get off Instagram and like, I'll tell you what to do. Like, let's figure this out together. So that's kind of a piece of it. Like, stay with the plan. Try not to like, do your own thing and do all these other things and do all of your own research. Stay with the plan that you are working with and like just be honest. Like, if you're working with a PT, if again, like if you're working with whoever it is, like if you don't feel like you're making the progress that you want to make, like just have a conversation. Like, I have one client, multiple clients, I shouldn't even say one, that every week we really have to come back and be like, okay, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. This is the theory and the framework that we're working in. You are making progress, and this is what progress feels like right now. Okay. And on the other hand, like, I have people who are like, they don't want to know those things. And they just kind of like, they're like, yeah, okay, I'll do whatever you say. And like, if I have flare-ups, like whatever, we'll just kind of work through it. But I think it's just important to like stay with the people that you're with up and like follow the plan and not have so many ideas and thoughts and chefs in the kitchen because you could actually like derail if you're going all of these different routes. I hope that feels clear. I hope that makes sense. I'm just coming back to the liver story where it was like my plan was very XYZ, and that plan was very 1, 2, 3, and it just was a completely different direction. It was not a wrong direction. This is an amazing therapist that did the liver thing, but like, I needed to stay on my plan because mentally I just couldn't handle doing all of these things. So I hope that's kind of what makes sense. And then also, like, it's okay to pivot. Like, I actually just posted a kind of post about this, but when I was working with my PT, we crushed it. Got back to activities of daily living. I was treating my patients. I was driving. I was back to running 20 minutes 3 times per week, pain free. Like, I was living my life again. Like, hear me when I say that. And then when I really wanted to start to increase my running volume, I just kept flaring up. I kept flaring up because I had no plan that was specific to running. Like, I didn't have a running plan. I didn't have exercises that were specific to running, that were melded with my strength training and kind of felt like my, tidying up some of the rehab stuff that I needed. I didn't have that. And I actually needed to pivot. Like, I quit PT and I actually went to more of a coaching perspective because I needed someone that was going to tell me what to do with my running and tell me what to do specifically with my strength training to hit my running goals. So I needed to pivot, okay? And I had gone through the bout of PT and like I had seen significant progress and I continued to go until I felt like I just plateaued, and then it was time to pivot, okay? Had this conversation with my husband, who's also a physical therapist in the rehab fitness coaching space, like very knowledgeable on this stuff. And he was like, yeah, for sure. Like, I think you've hit your ceiling there, and like we could totally do this different model and get you to the results that you needed. And once I started just focusing on my running volume and my strength training and tidying up with some of these rehab things that I was doing, skyrocketed, absolutely skyrocketed. I got back up to like 6, 8 miles. I ran a half marathon. I ran 250Ks after that. Like, it worked for me. And I don't know, like, I'm nervous to say this because I don't want you to pivot so much that you're just like always pivoting, but like, stay with the plan. And then if it's not working and you've checked in with the person and they're like, I don't know, then pivot. Like it's okay to pivot and go a different route. Okay. So number 4 is build your team and follow the plan. Okay, number 5. This is new, guys. Like this is new. It's 2025 right now, end of 2025. And we don't just have Google. We don't just have Reddit. We don't just have podcasts. We don't just have YouTube. We have AI, okay? We have ChatGPT. We have Gemini. We have, I don't even know, like we have all these things. And we're out here typing our stuff in, okay? We're out here typing our stuff in. I started this podcast talking about low ferritin, low hypothyroid, all this stuff. You best believe I was out there on ChatGPT. Like I'm typing it, these are my blood samples, this is all this stuff, asking them for a plan. Okay. I went to 2 doctors, like 2 actually phenomenal doctors in my area that I'm genuinely obsessed with. Have had one of them on this podcast. One of them probably should come on this podcast. Nothing, like nothing was the same. Nothing was the same. The plan that they gave me was tailored to me, to my ferritin levels, to my thyroid levels, to my body, to my activity. I actually like want to show them what ChatGPT said, and I want them to rip it apart because it is so important that we're not like using this stuff to guide where we go. And I'm saying this from a perspective of a mental perspective, okay? I'm not even saying this from like a you might do harm perspective, but like mentally. Like if I mentally followed my ChatGPT program and didn't see results, again, I'm blaming myself. And why couldn't you figure this out better? I'm not a medical doctor, okay? I don't know if I follow the plan that the doctor gave me and I'm like I'm not better, it's their fault, okay? Like I'm blaming them. And I'm doing it lovingly, you know, like they don't mean to be malicious or like they don't have malintent, but I'm blaming them. And it's their problem to take care of. And mentally that's not on me, okay? That's absolutely not on me. And also, speaking of the interwebs, like I can't say this enough. There again, negativity bias, guys. The people that have recovered or the people that are back to running are not on blogs being like, back to running, guys. Got diagnosed with labral tear, back to running, got impingement, back to running. Like maybe now because I'm out here pumping out these positive, inspirational podcasts, not interviews, but yeah, podcast interviews, trying to get more people's stories out there of women that have gone through this, gone through hip injuries and gotten back to running. Like I want more positive stories, but like if you go on the pages, if you go on the page, like the pages online, holy cow, like you could scare yourself into a tizzy. I have said this before. There's a physical therapist that completely quit her job and started a whole online PT running education platform because of the Facebook groups. She was like, there was so much malinformation in there, and she lives in an area where there's a ton of runners. She was treating a ton of runners, and she was like, I can't do this. Like, she was like, the misinformation is absolutely absurd. And she's like, I need a place for people to go that they know that they can get information that is going to actually like serve them and not hurt them. So stay off the chats, stay out of the interwebs. Like, it's scary, okay? It's really scary. Build your team. Ask those people what they believe about you, okay? Stay off the internet. It's scary out there. It's really scary out there. So, top 5 things that I would do to help your mental game while you're dealing with a hip injury to get back to running. Number 1, ask for help. Number 2, stop moving the needle. Number 3, expect ups and downs. Number 4, build your team and follow the plan. Caveat, pivot if you need to. And number 5 is stay out of the chat, guys. You have got this, okay? You have got this. I believe in you. The mental part of it is so challenging. I told you guys every week, I literally in my program am like, what wins are we having? This past week, it was week 5. We finished week 5. Actually, this is the end of week 4 of the program, these wins. And literally, I had people who still sent me things who were like, this wasn't perfect. This wasn't perfect. But they still sent me things like, I went from not running and now I'm running 2 by 20 minutes every single week, and I'm finding consistency with my strength training. Another gal was like, her biggest thing was sitting at work. She has improved tolerance with sitting at work. That is a huge freaking win. Another gal in the Empower Hit program ran the Marine Corps Marathon. I'm so proud of her. Like, she is an absolute beast. And she was dealing with some lingering low back hip stuff. After the marathon, she was able to do her feel good exercises, which are, I'm just passionate about feel good exercises, things that make you feel good. Brought her pain down. She was able to come back down to a 0. And then we had another gal in the program who literally has run like the longest she's run in multiple years. And she is back to lifting consistently without a bunch of hip tightness. And I force them, I really do, to share wins because we need that positivity. Your brain has a mental negativity bias. Think about it. If someone told you, your shirt looks amazing, your shirt looks amazing, your shirt looks amazing, your shirt looks amazing, you're ugly, which one are you going to remember? I'm going to be shattered if someone tells me that I'm ugly, okay? And they told me that I look amazing all day long. Like, I would be shattered, okay? We need that positivity bias. So I hope this podcast was the episode that you needed to cheer you up, put some pep in your step. Last thing I want to tell you guys, the EmpowHER program is going to be, applications are open. We're going to be doing our next cohort in January. I am telling you, never in my life have I had so many people reach out to me. I have men, like multiple men reaching out to me, which you guys know, like all my stuff is pink, EmpowHER hit program, like the momentum of people wanting to get better is unbelievable. I really believe this cohort is going to fill up quickly. So if you're like, Sarah, I want to run strong in 2026, I want virtual coaching, run and strength coaching to get me to my goals, check out the application in the show notes. If you fill out the application, it will send you directly to my strategy call calendar. So you can book a free call with me. We can go over, is this program, would it even be a good fit for you? I love, I mean, I'm a coach at heart. Like, I would kind of give you some implementable strategies. And if it's not going to be a good fit, like, I can't tell you the amount of people I found them a physical therapist in their area, or maybe even a run coach that would fit better for them. So really, it's a win-win-win. Feel free to check that out in the show notes, the EmpowHER Hip application, apply, curate, pick, move on. Like, apply, press submit, and then go on, and it will show you my strategy call calendar. Book a free call with me. I would genuinely love to meet you and talk about the EmpowHER Hit program. If it's not going to be a good fit, happy to help you find another option. But I look forward to the next episode with y'all and hope you guys have a great rest of your week.